Hello, welcome to my channel and welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen. I'm a certified weight loss and nutrition coach, and today we're talking about BMI. Is it accurate? Is it something you should worry about? And are those charts that tell you what a healthy weight is versus your BMI at all accurate in this day and age? So if you're excited for today's video, give it a big, huge thumbs up. And don't forget, if you're new or you haven't yet subscribed, I'd love to have you here. Hit the subscribe button and click that little bell right next to it so you never miss a single video. I do upload every Tuesday and Thursday, so you definitely don't want to miss out. Down in that description box, you will find nutrition coaching. I do offer personalized to you macros and calories. Really important to know where you should fall every day to be the most successful on whatever healthy lifestyle you are currently living, as well as one-on-one coaching if you want to chat with me a little bit more individually. Links, discounts to all my favorite healthy things are also down in that description box. So let's get into chatting about the good old BMI chart. So first, what is the BMI chart exactly? How is this used as a tool for healthcare professionals? So in all healthcare institutions, they refer to this BMI chart to determine whether or not you are at a healthy weight and what your risk is for certain illnesses or chronic diseases related to your weight. It's been used for decades to signify whether or not you're at a healthy weight and that you're living a healthy lifestyle. But it has been proven time and time again in the last few years that this BMI chart is extremely oversimplified and maybe isn't the tool we should be using to judge whether or not an individual is healthy. It is claimed that the BMI chart is outdated, inaccurate, and really shouldn't be used in the medical or fitness industry any longer. So you're probably wondering, what exactly is a BMI? BMI stands for body mass index. It was actually developed in 1832 by a Belgian mathematician. That's how long ago this BMI chart was developed. He developed this chart to quickly estimate whether someone was at a healthy weight, overweight, or fell into the obesity category. It gained popularity when government, fitness, and health facilities decided to use this BMI chart as their measure of whether someone or not is at a healthy weight. Interestingly enough, he did state that this BMI chart wouldn't be accurate for every individual. It's going to depend on how much muscle an individual has and a lot of other factors that play into whether or not this chart is even accurate from the beginning in the 1800s. How a BMI is determined is taking your body weight and dividing that by the number of inches in your height. Square that times 703. I'm going to put that equation here on the screen for you because it's a little bit easier to see it in a visual fashion. There are a lot of online BMI calculators as well, but this is the formula that was developed and used to create the chart. Once you've calculated your BMI, it's then compared to the BMI chart. This will help you determine whether you fall in a normal weight range. I am going to insert the BMI chart here for you. In these calculations, a healthcare professional may recommend losing weight, maintaining your weight, or even in some cases gaining weight. Though this gives this healthcare provider a snapshot of your health, it certainly doesn't tell them everything about how healthy of an individual you actually are. It doesn't take into factors such as age, sex, race, genetics, fat mass, and even the muscle on your body. So is this even a good indicator of health? It doesn't actually tell you whether or not you're healthy. Like I said, there are so many other factors that play into whether you are a healthy individual. However, studies have shown that individuals with a BMI of 18%, which is normal weight range according to the chart, are less likely to suffer from chronic illnesses, die prematurely, and just suffer from day-to-day aches and pains. Where somebody who falls at 30% or more and is classified as obese is more likely to suffer from these conditions. In fact, individuals that fell in the underweight, overweight, and obesity category died on average 6.7 years earlier than someone who falls in the normal BMI range. Also, a 5 to 10% reduction in your BMI if you do fall into the overweight or obese category can have huge effects on your overall health. It decreases the rates of metabolic syndrome, diabetes, and heart disease. Studies show that chronic diseases are far more common in those individuals that suffer from obesity or fall in that 30% or higher BMI index, according to the chart. So what are some downsides of this whole BMI? A low BMI, again, is 18.5%, and you fall into the obesity category with a BMI of 30% or more. Flaw number one is it doesn't consider any other factors that relate to your overall health. BMI only answers yes or no as to whether someone is in a normal weight range. It doesn't take into effect any of the things that we mentioned: age, sex, gender, lifestyle, race. If you rely on the BMI chart only, you're missing a lot of other key factors that play more of a bigger role in your overall health. You're not looking at things like your blood pressure, your cholesterol, any fattiness around your liver or your heart that can be huge indicators that you would, even though be in the healthy rate of BMI, be at risk of other health conditions. Plus, as a person ages, their fat mass increases as well. It's just a natural part of the aging process. So sometimes as you age, you can move through those categories of the BMI chart. Even though your weight may not have fluctuated a whole lot, you may see that your BMI status fluctuates quite heavily. Another flaw of the BMI chart is it assumes that all weight is created equal, although 1 pound of fat weighs the exact same as 1 pound of muscle, because a pound of peanut butter, pound of butter, pound of fat, pound of muscle, it's all a pound. However, muscle takes up a lot less space than fat. That's why you'll see these bodybuilders who weigh way above what they look like they weigh, because they are full of muscle, which in turn makes them look lean and healthy, even though their weight may fall in an unhealthy category on this BMI chart. Two people can be the exact same height and the exact same weight and look absolutely completely different based on the amount of fat versus muscle they have. But those two individuals at the same height and the same weight would fall in the same category on the BMI chart. So for example, if someone is 5'9" and 200 pounds, they're automatically in the overweight category of the BMI chart. What if that 5'9" individual that's 200 pounds has more muscle mass than the average individual? Would they really be considered overweight? That is one of the big flaws of the BMI chart. It doesn't take into account muscle or any other related issues to the body. Number three, it doesn't take into account how your fat is distributed in your body. For example, those with fat stored around the stomach area are at a higher risk of several chronic illnesses. This is known as the apple shape. Now, those that store their fat in other areas, like their hips, their buttocks, and their thighs, this is considered the pear-shaped body. These two body types have their fat distributed very differently in their body, and both of these body types are at risk for different diseases. Those with an apple-shaped body, or individuals who store a lot of fat around their stomach area, had a significant higher mortality risk than those that are shaped like a pear, storing their weight around their hips, thighs, and buttocks. So the fact the BMI chart doesn't take how it's distributed in your body into account makes it very inaccurate. The next flaw is it may actually lead to weight bias. Some professionals strictly use the BMI chart to determine whether or not an individual is not only at a healthy weight, but healthy in general. If you have a little bit higher BMI, maybe it's because you have a little bit more muscle. If that is what your physician or your healthcare provider focuses on, they're not giving you the best healthcare advice, because all they're looking at is that number on the BMI chart. And again, we need to take into consideration so many other factors and not just be bias on the number on the scale. And the last flaw is it may not be relevant for all populations. For example, those of Asian descent generally have a lower BMI. They fall into the thinner category. However, they have an extremely increased risk of chronic diseases despite falling in the normal category on the BMI chart. The African American population can easily be misclassified based on the chart. They can be classified as overweight even though they have a lower fat mass index and higher muscle mass. In fact, Black women can weigh more than white women and still be considered healthy, even though the BMI chart may indicate that they are in the overweight or obese category. Populations, race, gender, that all plays a part in whether or not you're considered to be a healthy individual. It should not be based solely on the numbers on this chart that was again created in the 1800s. So what are some better alternatives to the BMI chart? What if you want to know, are you considered healthy? Are you considered at an underweight, healthy weight, overweight, or obese category? Well, there's some alternatives available out there that have been proven to not only be more accurate, but to also be a better indicator of your overall health. Number one is your waist circumference. So take a measurement of your waist. A waist circumference greater than 35 inches in women and 40 inches in men indicates a greater amount of body fat in the abdominal area, which is associated with a higher risk of chronic diseases. You can also measure your waist to hip ratio. A high ratio, 0.80 in women and 0.95 in men, indicates again a higher storage of fat in your stomach area. Next is your body fat percentage. This helps distinguish between fat mass and muscle mass. It's more accurate than the BMI of your overall health, as well as your fat and muscle index. Lab tests and blood tests are another great way to see where you fall in the healthy scale. It'll give you a more detailed overview of your metabolic health, as well as whether or not you're at risk for some chronic condition. So all of these are better tools, easily accessible tools that may be a lot more accurate than that BMI chart. So the bottom line of today's video is the BMI index may just be outdated. It may not be the best tool for healthcare, fitness, and you to be using to determine whether or not, number one, you're healthy or you fall in a healthy weight range. Take advantage of some of these other tools out there, but remember, the BMI is just a starting point. It is a starting point to determine whether or not you need to lose a little bit of weight, gain a little weight, and really how overall healthy you are as an individual. So that's what I have for you today. Quite interesting on the BMI index. I actually get this question from my clients a lot, whether or not they should be following this BMI index. I know for a lot of my clients who follow the Weight Watchers program, this is how goal weights are determined. And it's unfortunate because this chart is so incredibly outdated. So again, take advantage of these other tools to measure an accurate overall picture of how healthy you are, not just weight related, but body mass, muscle mass, fat distribution, all the above related. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a big, huge thumbs up. And if you're new or you haven't subscribed, of course, I'd love to have you here. Hit the subscribe button and click that little bell right next to it so you never miss a single video. I do upload every Tuesday and Thursday, so you definitely don't want to miss out. Don't forget to check out the description box down below for nutrition coaching, as well as links and discounts to my favorite healthy things. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.